Hello and welcome to another video, and I want to talk about mech agility under the skill tree and engine desync systems. There's some issues with it that I want to address, and we're going to go over them in this video. Now, for credit where it's due, the spreadsheet you see in front of you is not originally mine. I got it from Reddit, from this guy who I can't pronounce your name because it's a bunch of numbers, but he went through the game files, he pulled out all the agility stats, and he formatted them nicely into a spreadsheet, which was perfect, made my life so much easier. So thank you so much for what you did, and I'm giving you proper credit here. Also, I used the Skills Grid website. I can't remember exactly who made this, but it is awesome. You can see the URL right here, and you can go here and play with the skill tree without spending any SP in the game and see what your different bonuses are. But we want to talk about agility. We can see the agility tree right here, and we've taken every single node out of it, all 40, and it gives you these different bonuses. Now it's important to note that the agility tree doesn't change between IS and clan. It's the same between those. It does change actually ever so slightly between the different weight classes, but almost nothing, because the only thing that changes is torso speed. So torso speed for assaults is 21%, as well as for heavies. And then for mediums, it's 24%, and then lights, it's 30%. So just a small change there of like a few percent in your torso speed. So the rate at which you twist your torso and raise your torso and lower your torso. And that's it. Everything else is static. So things like your acceleration, your deceleration are the exact same maximums across every single mech in the game. So what I did is I took that spreadsheet where the person pulled in every single chassis, the variant, their tonnage, and their raw stats. Acceleration here in the green, deceleration in the yellow, turn rate in the red, torso yaw rate in the blue, and torso pitch rate in the magenta. And left off the arm rates, as we'll talk about why there are no skill nodes for arms in a short moment here. But took those various bonuses, such as acceleration, 24.5%, and added them to the thing. So adding on 24.5% to our base acceleration. So these are the boosted values, as if you had the full agility skill tree. So we can see, say for example, this locust, the 1E. It has a base value of 77.69 acceleration, and boosted, it has 96.72. Now that's almost 20 points of increase. That's great. That's a huge acceleration boost. The Locust would be quite happy to have that. However, there's the problem with this, as that same percentage is used for every single mech, the same 24.5%. And percents matter so much more based on your base value. So if you have a high base value, like the Locusts, which have the highest acceleration in the game, your boosted value is also very, very high because you're getting the most increase overall. It's a percentage, that's how it works. However, what happens when your base value is already very low? So we're going to scroll down here and go down to the assault mechs where this is ever so apparent, and go down, find our heaviest mechs in the game. We have the Atlas, the Direwolf, the Kodiak, the King Crab, and the majority down here have an acceleration of 6.19. Now, even after the full 24.5% increase, you've taken every single kinetic burst node that's in the tree, your acceleration is only 7.71. So while the Locust gets almost 20 points of increase, you get 1.5 points. That just, in my mind, doesn't seem fair. Because you're caught in this catch-22. If you are a slow mech, your base value is low, you want to improve your mobility, and that's understandable. However, you only have a set percentage to increase it. But because your base value is low, the increase you get from a percent is also low, and therefore it's not really worth it to take. Alternatively, if you're already high, why are you taking all of these percent increases? You need less of a percent in order to get the same benefit that something with a lower base value has. So why take all the nodes? Just take a couple. Take a couple on your way down to get speed tweak. That's fine. So on both ends, if you're slow, it's not worth taking it because the increase isn't good enough. And if you're fast, why are you taking so many? Because you're already getting enough of an increase with just a couple. So on both ends, there's this catch-22 of the benefit from these agility nodes isn't worth it for the skill point cost. There's only a very, very small group, I would say, in the middle, maybe around maybe for acceleration, that's like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s sort of thing for a base value, that maybe actually, yeah, having some additional acceleration sort of clicks them over the edge of something, gets them into that next category of movement so that they're moving a little bit better. But on the mechs that you really want to take acceleration, which is these slow mechs, it does nothing. And I hate that. I wish that I could take some better acceleration. Like if you look at the Spirit Bear here, it's 6.19, and it's a mask-capable clan assault mech. Also look at the Executioner. It's a mask-capable clan assault mech. They're separated by 5 tons. But because the Executioner has 4 times the base value, it gets 4 times the boosted value. Even worse, if you look within the atlases, one atlas, the one I have on the free-to-play, is 6.19. Another atlas has 8.5. Even full boost, I can't make the DDC move like a K. Just because. So I think this is an issue that needs solving. What I believe we need to do is make these nodes, instead of percentiles, make them flat increases. So instead of saying kinetic burst plus 3.5%, it's kinetic burst plus 1, plus 1.5, plus 2. It would change based on the mech's weight. So maybe plus 1 would be for assaults. So if we go back to our thing here, there's a total of 7 nodes, so that would be a total of plus 7 if you took every single one of them. This 6.19 would instead be 13.19. Well, that's actually kind of nice. Like that's a very noticeable increase. It's about the same as, say, this Banshee here. But then also you have the other assault mech, so we'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to lose out because I already had a base value that was high, and then when you make this change because, you know, it's a flat value, no, I'm not going to get my boost. Well, you can just look at whatever, say, the best assault mech increase is. So the Gargoyle, 30-ish to 36, or 29 to 36. Wait, that's plus 7-ish. So the Gargoyle is still going to get the exact same boost that it does now, but it just basically means that these mechs on the lower end that are desperately trying to get that little bit of acceleration aren't being shafted by a percentile. So I think that is if I can speak English, it's applicable for the entire thing here. We need to look at these and say, is that increase worthwhile? Is that valid for that particular thing? Is investing into the agility going to be worth getting that benefit? Like investing into agility should make your mech agile. It should be a noticeable increase. But for certain mechs, because of the engine desync, it's not, and that needs to be fixed. However, there is something you should always, always, always take, and that's speed tweak. If we clear everything and we go down the tree here, this is the tree that I'm using on every single mech in the game right now, and I'm not taking any more because of the issues that I stated earlier. Speed tweak has a noticeable, measurable increase in your mech's ability, because you can directly calculate the amount of tonnage you've saved. So I've made a spreadsheet for that because of course I have speed tweak savings. So for example, let's say you have a 75 tonner, but actually tonnage, it doesn't really matter. It's just in there for calculations. Say you're driving your whatever, 75 tonner. If you had a engine with a 100 rating, your base speed would be 21.6. But if you got tweak, your tweak speed is 23.2. Okay, so you're faster. But if you wanted to, what you could say is, okay, what engine would I have to take in order to have that tweak speed if I didn't take tweak? So I'd have to have maybe like a 105 or a 110. It's in between there. What the spreadsheet does is it automatically calculates one that is, takes what this tweak speed is, and then goes down this list until it finds one that's just below it. So it doesn't take this one because it's slightly higher, but then it looks at that particular engine's weight. So we can look at it here. Well, the difference between the 1 base, 2.5 would be where the tweaked speed would be, so it puts 2.5 here. Then I just do a simple subtraction, and it means that taking speed tweak on that particular mech with an engine rating of 100 means I've saved 1.5 tons if I had a standard engine. That's a noticeable, measurable increase in tonnage available to your mech. We can scroll down to some more common engine types and engine rating numbers. The 255, the 280, the 300, the 325, the 350, and the 375. Now it tapers off here for the 400, but that's just because we don't have we don't have engine weights beyond 400. So once we start hitting here, it just matches everything up against a 400, and this trails off to 0. However, this is increasing, and it will probably be continuing to increase up until 400. So this is just a problem with the math here at this level. But looking at the common engine ratings, you can see we have XL. If I had made these stick around, but there's standard, XL, and light here, because we're going to have light engines in a month and a half-ish with the July patch. For a 325 or say like a 350, like say a common large XL and like this 75 tonner, so this is on a Black Knight. I have an XL 350 on my Black Knight. By taking a 350 engine and then taking speed tweak, I am saving 4.5 tons from my design. I would have to take an engine that's 4.5 tons heavier in order to get the same speed. So yes, no matter what, take speed tweak out of the agility stats, because this is a measurable increase in the amount of tonnage you can have. But because of the reasons I stated before, never touch anything else beyond this 21 points. It's simply not worth it. But I hope they change this in the future, because I want agility to be worth it. I want taking full agility tree to be a thing, to be, yeah, I want my mech to be able to twist like a god and accelerate quickly. And you take full agility, and that's what it should be. But as it stands now, the way they've set it up means that the really slow mechs with low base agility stats are being left behind, and the mechs with high base agility stats don't need these points, and speed tweak is the only thing viable because it saves you tonnage. But thanks for watching, and good hunting.